Hey guys, it's Caitlin and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am actually going to be doing a book unhaul. So what that is, if you were unaware, what's a haul? When you show a bunch of things that you bought. Now take the opposite of that, showing a bunch of things I'm getting rid of. It's kind of sad, guys. Like, I love my books, but I literally at this point have too many on my shelves. Like, it's getting to become a problem. I am never gonna get a chance to read every single one of the books that I own, especially since I also utilize my local library, and there's also lots of new books that are going to be coming out that I also want to read. So basically my TBR is never ending because it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I think the most responsible thing to do would be to get rid of some of my books. Obviously not all of them, obviously not a ton of them, just some that I know I'm realistically not going to get to. Maybe these books just don't interest me. Maybe even some of them I've read and didn't like, so I don't see any point in keeping them. So before we get into this video, make sure you guys follow me on Instagram, TikTok, give this video a like, and comment whatever you feel like commenting. Okay, so a couple of videos back on this channel, I did a bookshelf tour. So I would recommend watching that before you watch this so you kind of get the gist of how my bookshelves are formatted. But right here at the foot of my bed, I have my classics. Now, I'm gonna be so honest, I am not a classics person. So maybe there's a few that I could get rid of. I literally only found 2 books on there that I'd be willing to get rid of. And that is these 2 books, just because I read this and really enjoyed it when I was younger, but it's been so long and I don't really see myself going and reading this sequel. So I think we're gonna add this to the pile. Actually, there is no pile yet. That is the start of the pile. I think that the best way to do this video would probably be for me to stop talking and just pick out the books that I want to unhaul and then tell you guys all of the books that I found rather than go through each of my shelves and talk you guys through it, because I feel like that would be long and kind of boring. So I'm gonna keep searching through my shelves, trying to find some books that I am okay with parting with, and by the end of this video we should have a good stack that I can get rid of and make some room for new books. Okay, so we officially have our stack of books that I'm going to be unhauling, aka getting rid of. When I say that, I don't mean I'm going to literally throw these books out the window and forget they existed. I am probably going to donate them to my local library or a thrift store or something so that somebody else can read them and will hopefully enjoy these books. So I think we should just get into the stack, and I'll be telling you guys why I'll be donating these books, if I didn't like them, if I've read them, and just basically an explanation as to why these books no longer have a place on my shelf. So we're gonna start at the top of the stack, work our way down. This is in no particular order. So starting off, honestly, this one's kind of a boring explanation. It's One Day in December, and I'm literally only getting rid of this because I have 2 copies for some reason. I don't know why or how I acquired 2. Let me show you like the one I'm keeping. If you owned 2 copies of the same book, one that looked like this, one that looked like this, I mean, me personally, I'm gonna keep the one that looks like this and get rid of this one, just because, I don't know, it's a lot easier to read like a full-size novel rather than like a mass market paperback. Also, not gonna lie, the picture of the man and woman on the cover embracing is not really doing it for me. I'm kind of vibing more with the cartoon cover. Yeah, I definitely want to read this book in December, which is next month. I'm gonna be getting rid of this copy just because I do not need 2 copies of a book that I haven't even read yet. Okay, next, I kind of already talked about this at the beginning of the video, but I am going to be getting rid of Stargirl and the sequel. Actually, now that I think about it, maybe I should keep Stargirl because like I did really like this book. I just don't really need the sequel. I think I'm gonna do that because this was a really cute book and I really liked it when I read it. It was one of the books that kind of got me into reading when I was younger. Like, look how old and like dirty the pages are. That's kind of gross, but like, you know what I mean. Like, it's a well-loved book. I'm gonna keep it. Guys, I know the whole point of this video is to get rid of books, but I am such a nostalgic, like, sentimental person. Like, even though like I don't necessarily want to read or like any of these books, like that doesn't mean it's easy for me to get rid of. They're literally books. Like, I can, if I really wanted them, I could literally just go buy them again. Next, this book I actually got very recently. It's called The City of Ember, but I didn't like buy this book willingly. Like, I didn't buy it at all, actually. I just won it at like a library event. looks a little bit young. Like, this possibly is like a children's or middle grade book. I personally prefer young adult or adult books, so I don't think this is really my cup of tea anymore. Probably would have loved it when I was in elementary school, but unfortunately I am not. I wish I was. That would be nice. But I think this book could go to someone younger who actually would enjoy it. Alright, next book. Ooh, just looking at this is giving me trauma. It's called A Night Divided, and this was my summer reading book in like 5th or 6th grade, and I hated it. I despised it. I don't know why I've kept it for so long. I don't know, maybe just younger me did not like being told, like, read this and write a paper on it and answer these multiple choice questions. But I don't know, I just really hated this book. Not to be super negative or anything. That is like 12-year-old me talking, but oh my god, I just realized my drawers over there are like open, and that's like kind of distracting. I'm gonna close it. Okay, hopefully that wasn't bothering anyone. It is gonna bother me when I'm editing. Okay, this next book has a similar story to this one, the City of Ember one, because I also got it at the library for free. It's called The Supernatural Society. It's an uncorrected proof, so like an ARC copy, so that's pretty cool. But oh my god, look how big the text is too. That's cool. But I just don't see myself reading this book. It again looks a little bit young. I'm sure it is really good. Like, it's really cute cover and everything. This next book is another case where I somehow got 2 copies. It's called The Testing. My friend gave me 1 copy, and the other one I think I got like for free again or something like that. I'm not really sure, honestly. I didn't even know I had 2 until I was looking in this closet and I saw that I had one. I literally have no memory of getting the second one, but there's no need for me to have 2. It does actually sound really good. It's giving like dystopian, and I think it might be a series. That's cool. I do possibly want to read this if I hear more about it. Like, I need to like look up some reviews, see what it's really about. But again, I don't need 2 copies of the same book, so why keep both of them? Okay, the stack, it's kind of like cut off on camera, but there's still a lot. Don't you worry. Let me show you. Yeah, it's a little bit bigger than it looks because some of it cuts off, but oh, this next one's a good one. Well, actually quite literally the opposite, but it might be funny to hear me talk about because I'm gonna get passionate. It's called Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. So, funny story, this book became a movie on Netflix. Didn't watch it, but I heard it was atrocious. Anyways, that's besides the point. I didn't watch the movie. I don't have an opinion on it. But this book, I got it for like secondhand, like at a thrift store, so not super expensive or anything, but I got it because I heard that they were coming out with a movie, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna read this and then watch the movie when it comes out. This was probably like 2 years ago, maybe. First off, what is this cover? Why is it feet and a bike? Yeah, anyways, I started reading this book and I was like, okay, it's not too bad, like, it's okay. But then this narrator, oh my god, she angered me so much. I remember vividly the way that this teenage girl, like, narrator would talk about other teenage girls. Like, she was like a sporty, like, athletic girl, and she would act like any girl who wasn't like that and who like liked makeup, liked to wear dresses, stereotypically girly things. She would say that they were like less than her. She would just act like these girls were like dumb and didn't know how to do anything except like look pretty. And just the way that that was portrayed, I did not like. There were like multiple occasions, like this wasn't just like a one-liner. Like, no, this girl's whole personality was hating on other women, on other girls, and I do not like that, and I do not want to read about that or read from a perspective that likes to belittle girls that she doesn't have the same style as. Like, I don't really get why she didn't like them. And again, it wasn't like one particular person, like the mean girl or something. Like, no, any girl who wore makeup in her eyes was stupid. I just don't understand that logic. I'm not saying like Sarah Dessen believes that. Like, she has a bunch of books and she's a well-loved author, so like maybe that's just the case with this main character. And like, I didn't finish the book, so maybe that girl develops, come to the realization that, oh, you can be friends with girls who wear makeup. They don't have to all be sporty. But I don't know. I don't really know what she was trying to do or why the main character was so unlikable. But yeah, maybe it got better. I just don't care to find out. Okay, next, this is kind of a disappointing one because I thought I was gonna like these, but the first book was called Dear Martin and the second book Dear Justice. It's like a super good story and like had such a great message. I just didn't vibe with the writing style. So this is like the first book, and then this one is like a sequel, but I think you don't have to read the first book. It's what kind of like interconnected standalones. I got bored and I just DNF'd it, and I don't ever see myself picking it back up or picking up the sequel. Obviously, if I didn't like the first book, I'm probably not gonna enjoy the sequel either. I don't know. It's definitely like a very important story, and I would recommend you like to pick it up if you want to try it. I just didn't connect with the writing style or like something, but yeah, so I think I'm gonna get rid of these ones. Next, oh, that was quite loud. Next, we have The Cousins by Karen M. McManus. This one is also a little surprising. Surprising to myself. I don't know what I'm saying, but I actually love Karen M. McManus as a writer. I have like probably 6-7 of her books. I've enjoyed most of them. I love One of Us is Lying, but this one I tried to read and I could not get into. My mom read it and she liked it, so again, this might just be me personally. Also, I did take this book to summer camp with me last year and try to read it there, and the girls in my cabin were very loud, so maybe I just wasn't like fully grasping the words I was reading because it's hard to read when like a bunch of people are talking. But yeah, I just remember not liking this book, not wanting to finish it. My mom ended up telling me what the ending was because I didn't feel like reading it, and I was just like, oh, and then yeah, I never want to go back to it. Next, we have All the Crooked Saints by Maggie Stiefvater. She is the author of The Raven Cycle, and I love that series. So when I saw this at a thrift store like 3-4 years ago, I was like, oh my god, I love this author, I'm gonna read this. But let's just say I did not like it. I found it very boring, couldn't get into it, did not finish it, so I don't see a point in keeping it. Next, oh, you're kind of gonna stop seeing the stack, but there's still a few left. We have The First to Die at the End. This book, oh my god, it angered me so much. I can't remember if I read it this January or last January. I read it like right when it came out, so let me check. I want to say last January. Yeah, 2022. Wait. Okay, I'm guessing it came out late 2022 and I picked this up early 2023. If it's not that and I actually read this in January 2022, time is not real. This is the prequel, because it's the first to die at the end. Yep, to They Both Die at the End, and I loved that book. It got me into reading. It was one of like the first books I ever gave 5 stars. Adam Silvera came out with a prequel, kind of like the origin story, and it's so long for what? Like, it didn't need to exist, but if it was going to, I just don't see why he didn't make it shorter. Like, this is literally like almost 600 pages. Like, it did not need to be that long. It's 550 pages, and I just remember being bored for majority of it. There was like one part that I was like, oh my god, that's so cute. Other than that, so I maybe enjoyed 10 pages of this. I don't know. I think another reason I just didn't like it was because I was disappointed because my expectations were so high. I was like, oh my god, I loved the first one. This is gonna be really good, but I did not feel that way. Yeah, that one kind of just angered me, and I kind of want to stop having to look at it on my shelf. Next book is The Stepsister, or no, it's just called Stepsister by Jennifer Donnelly. I read this in 5th grade and I liked it, but I don't need to keep it. I'm never gonna read it again. Next one has the exact same reasoning, Lost in a Book by by the same author. I had no idea, but I also read this in 5th grade, loved it, but I'm never gonna pick it up again. I do love Beauty and the Beast though, so recommend me some good Beauty and the Beast retellings, guys, because isn't ACOTAR technically a Beauty and the Beast retelling? Might need to read ACOTAR, guys. And the last book that I'm going to be unhauling, saying goodbye to, is Born of Water by A.L. Noor. So when I first got into reading, back like at the same time I was like getting They Both Die at the End, The Cruel Prince, The Wrath and the Dawn, like those OG book talk books back in like 2021-ish, I want to say. So I remember I ordered from Amazon like all the basic books, like the ones I just said, like those ones that everyone was talking about, and then I still had some money on my gift card, so I was like, I need one more book. So I remember just googling like fantasy books about mermaids because I wanted a book about a mermaid, and this one came up. It was not very popular, had no information as to what it was about. It was just the first one that came up, and I couldn't think of anything else to buy, so I bought this one. And I did not like it at the time, so I'm just gonna get rid of it now. Okay, those are all the books that I'm going to be donating, giving to my local library, and they will no longer be residents of my bookshelf. That is okay. I hope this video didn't come off as super negative or anything. I like to watch unhaul videos because I like to see what people like are getting rid of and like why they're getting rid of them. I think it's really interesting, like, because some of these books I just got rid of because I had 2 copies, but others I just DNF'd or didn't like or don't see myself picking up in the future, or like they're too juvenile for me personally. So yeah, hopefully some of you guys find that entertaining as well, and let me know. Actually, don't let me know. I was gonna say let me know if any of these books like I should change my mind and keep, but actually don't, because by the time I post this, these books may be long gone. And if you say like, oh my god, The City of Ember, that's my favorite book ever, it's so good, Caitlin, why did you get rid of it? I'll be sad. So anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!